Hello, this is Mr. Cameron, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to create a podcast using iMovie. So the first thing that you'll see is that I have my images that I want to use in my iMovie on my desktop. So I have a success criteria and a poem that I'm going to have my students read. So the first thing I'd like you to do is open up iMovie, and I'm going to go to a new project. I'll go to File and select New Movie. For our purposes today, we'll select No Theme, and I'm going to name my iMovie, which will be Don't Quit. Now I need an image to attach my voice to. So first, I'm going to drag our success criteria for creating a podcast, and I'll select Fit. I have the option to go with a Ken Burns, crop to fill, or fit. Of course, we'll select Fit. It loads at approximately 4 seconds. You should probably make your image longer than that. So if we go to settings, you can actually make your image either larger or smaller to a more manageable chunk. And you think you have selected enough time on your image, you can go ahead and begin recording. Simply press the record button when you're ready. Our success criteria for creating a podcast is to practice your reading before recording. If you're reading with a partner or you're reading individually, I want you to make sure that you've practiced enough that you know the poem that you're reading well. You're able to read it with good expression, intonation, and appropriate voice. I want you also to ensure that you include your personal voice when reading. After you've practiced and you're confident that you're ready to begin your podcast, be sure to speak in a loud and clear voice. When you're reading and recording your podcast, again, speak with expression, good intonation, and using appropriate voice. And we've discussed what appropriate voice means depending on the content of your text. Okay, we also want to hear your own personal voice when recording. That means you want to bring your personality to the poem. When you're all done recording, I would like you to review it, listen to your podcast carefully. If you're satisfied with it, and when you're ready, you can publish your podcast, and I'll explain how to do that. We won't necessarily publish it to iTunes. We may simply just share it to our desktop. This is your opportunity to really self-reflect on your voice recording and on your reading, and to make it better. Okay, it's really important that you are producing something that you're satisfied with. So when you're ready to record your iMovie, you will drag your image, and in this case, it's the poem that you will be reading for our friends in France. You will drag the Don't Quit poem, and again, as demonstrated before, you will fit the poem. You probably also want to have the poem that you're reading or the text that you're reading beside you. It makes it quite difficult to see the small image here. So you want to have a paper copy of the text that you're reading beside you as well. And I want you to ensure that you're working in a quiet space, that you're trying to not rustle your papers, because we can hear that as well. And I want you to ensure that you're ready and comfortable to record. When you are ready, you simply press the record button. or the microphone button, and then the red record button. After the 3 beeps, you're ready to record. And then you begin. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill, when you're satisfied or you think you need to stop and take a pause, or you want to edit your recording, simply press the space bar lightly. Okay, now you can go ahead and review your recording. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill. Okay, so I've read that over. Obviously, I want to trim out the beginning part. Back that up a bit. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill. Okay, and then I can also trim the part that I don't need as well out. All uphill. Okay. I'll drag that to the beginning of the poem. And then I'm also ready to record again. If you find something in the middle of your recording that you're not happy with, you can also split the recording in 2. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will. Okay. To do that, you want to make sure that you're clicked on the recording. And you can go to Modify and split the clip. And if need be, you can then edit out what you're not satisfied within the middle of a recording as well. Once you continue to record, listen to the poem, edit out anything that you're not satisfied with, and listen to it again and self-reflect and improve, and you're ready to share, simply go to the share button, and you have the option to share to iTunes or to the file or as a file. In this case, we will share to the file or as a file because we want to ensure that the image is included in our voice recording. All right, so we'll go to File. We'll call it Don't Quit, and perhaps to make it manageable for Mr. Cameron, you can put your first and last initial. And we'll call it about description. PC's podcast. Quality should be high. And we're ready to click on next. This will save to your desktop. You can go ahead and save. You'll wait for it to save to your desktop. You'll see that it's saved as an MP4. You also have the option to change it to an MOV simply by clicking on the extension and going to MOV. I would suggest that you wait until it's uploaded to the desktop before you change to MOV. And that is how you create a very simple podcast with an image or 2 in iMovie. You can see now that it's shared successfully. We'll close that. I've changed to an MOV. I will use the MOV. I'll click out of iTunes. Sorry, I'll click out of iMovie. And my podcast with a simple image is ready to play and share. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill. Okay, obviously, I did make a mistake. What I forgot to do was trim the poem back to my voice recording. So again, I can go back, if I'm not satisfied, to iMovie and make that final edit. Okay, you can see why it recorded as 1 minute and 6 seconds. I need to trim this all the way back, and I'll listen to it one more time. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill. Okay, now I'm ready to share that again. I'll share it as a file. I'll go to next. Don't quit. And I'll replace that copy. And it shouldn't take as long to upload. And again, it's saved as an MP4. You can change the extension if you want. I do like using MOV, but if you are sharing it with someone who doesn't necessarily have a Mac, you might want to keep it as an MP4, or you can keep it as both, or save as both. And we can listen to it. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill. And again, that is how to record a simple podcast using an image with iMovie and sharing as an MP4 or an MOV. I hope this helped.